Alright, today we're going to be calibrating some Speedhut gauges for the Datsun 2 1/16 inch. So what we had to do initially was fill up the gas tank as full as it'll go. And we're going to go through the Speedhut instructions here. It can be found on their website. I'll put a link in there. And you got to calibrate it full, and then you drain the tank, and then you're going to calibrate it at the empty level so it can tell the resistance basically of the sender to the gauge there to tell it when it's full and empty. So here we go. Alright, we're going to recalibrate the full position. Hold the button down for 12 seconds. It goes to 1/8 of a tank, then you push it to toggle over to the full position. Hold it down for 2 seconds. It'll go back and forth from empty to full. And that should save it. See what happens. Alright, now we're just going to drain the fuel out. Use a 19 millimeter. Take out the plug. One big enough container. And watch out, if you're like me, and it's got an old crappy seal, you don't get that back in there. This is a lot of good fresh gas. I should probably wear gloves, but whatever. It's a good time to check the condition of your fuel tank. Ours was recently refinished, so I'm not too worried about it. It'll drain out pretty well. If you want to make it faster, you can take the cap off. That'll do. So we have a better stream now. Just get a little bit of vacuum taken off of the tank. And we'll just wait for that to drain. We'll come back when it's fully drained. Alright, now that we've drained it out, there's a lot more gas in there than I thought. 2 of these, plus that. So we're going to go through and reprogram the gauge on empty. Alright, we're going to do the empty. Turn the key on. Gauge sweeps. Hold your button down for 10 to 12 seconds. Gauge goes all the way over to empty. Toggle through. Click it a couple times until you get to the full. That's manual. Hold it down for 2 seconds. Okay, you hold it down for 2 seconds when it hit the empty. And then it swept over to the full side. And now it's slowly going back. I'm assuming it's because it's reading a lot of resistance. Because it's empty in the tank actually. So that should be it. See what happens when we fill it back up. Alright, so we're going to toggle the key. The empty should be calibrated, so when we turn this on, it should be to empty. It's close to empty. Alright, after toggling it, hit the key over here. It looks like it's staying about where it is. Almost full. I didn't put quite 12 gallons back in there. Roughly 10. So that's probably okay. well, that's it for today's lesson on Speedhut gauges. We got to work with the oil pressure sender next, do some troubleshooting. So if you got that same gauge set up and you're having some issues like we are, I'll have some information shortly about that. Stay tuned for Dots and Z's stuff. And of course, you know, we got all this stuff going on too here. So follow our channel and we'll get some cool stuff going here.